Hi everyone, this is Karthikeya. Today we have a very interesting lineup. Joining me today we have M10 Janasid, Sid Chandrana, and Saksham Ratan, one of the best players in the country. And give your introduction, guys.
Hey guys, this is Sid Chandrana. I play for M10 esports.
Hi, this is Aksham here, civil engineer who started playing competitive FIFA, and I've signed for Footballist, who finished third in E Club World Cup, and they're based in Turkey.
And this is Karthikeya. I play for No Fuchs Given, run by the Leicester City defender Christian Fuchs. And I think Sid forgot to mention that he plays for Ozil. So
My team is owned by Özil.
So yeah, one of the big guys in the FIFA game, top baller. Anyway, so today we're just gonna have a casual chat about our experiences with FIFA and just to give you guys a brief of what happens outside the pitch. You only
Yeah.
see what happens inside the pitch. You only see the results. You only see our wins, our glories, and whatnot. The money also, but a very few people realize that the struggles behind reaching to that level. So I'm just gonna like start off with my own experience. Then Sid and Saksham will join in. So I started off in 2017. Was working with an esports organization called Gaming Monk. They used to host tournaments, and I was managing these tournaments. And after managing for a while, I saw a lot of players like Saksham, Sid, and many others win those tournaments. And I thought maybe I can also do something like that. I gave it a go. I left that job to pursue FIFA. I ended up winning a lot of tournaments. I also represented India in four international tournaments for now, out of which I won one. And that also made me the first ever Indian to win an international tournament. So this has been happening for a while now. So 4 years I've been doing it. And now, since I've reached that level, I have my name up there. The biggest challenges that I faced while I was starting was out of the 30, 40 big tournaments that I won, I've participated in more than a 300 tournaments, lost 250. So you only see the 40 to 50 tournaments, the mini victories that I won, but the rest 300 losses, the misery, the whatnot, the challenges. That's very. I think that's been ignored, and just to reach that level where I can put myself and say, I won this. It took in a lot of effort. It took in. No one was covering my news. No one was willing to promote their own esports play. The community wasn't that supportive at the very start, and the profession itself wasn't recognized. So that's my experience. I'm going to let M10 Sid speak about his struggles and how did he overcome. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I started off playing FIFA casually back in 2007. I was always a football fan. Uh, Slowly, I got into esports. My first tournament was in 2014. When I was 14 itself. I couldn't get out of the groups, but I found a place there. I started playing competitively back in 2017, which was FIFA 17. I faced a lot of challenges. I've lost 6 finals in a row. Actually, thought of quitting. But so one thing I wanna say is, perseverance is the key when it comes to esports. You just can't quit. Losing 6 finals in a row, I actually didn't know what I was doing. I thought of quitting, but year later I signed with M10. I won a lot of tournaments since then. Stormed into the scene. It's been all up and since then. I think experience has been amazing. But I think it's been an amazing journey, and I can't wait for the new season.
Yeah. So, Saksham, what about
True,
you?
true. I started 4 years back myself, playing competitively. Initially, I was doing really well in Pune itself. Like in my first ever tournament, I finished runner-up, and then I won a lot of tournaments after that. But the issue I was facing was I was doing international qualifiers in India. So I've been trying to qualify for an international tournament for past couple of years, and I always ended up losing in the final stages of the tournament, and including many big tournaments like GCS, in which I played really well but ended up losing. When you are winning in your city and around the city, but when you end up losing in a final of an international level tournament, you start to feel that you may not be of you may not be an international level player, and thoughts started to creep in my mind that I may just not be able to represent India in an international tournament. Luckily, this time I managed to win the Indian qualifier to qualify for a tournament in Malaysia, and the next week itself, Charan and I managed to win India their first to international trophy, and that also made me second ever Indian to win an international tournament after you, Karthike. So it's as Sid mentioned, perseverance. Uh, Everyone, including three of us, have lost a lot of big level tournaments, city tournaments, but we never quit. So I could actually give this as advice to people who are looking to get into the esports scenes that we also lose a lot, but one thing that we do is after losing we go home, we practice more, we work on
Yep.
our issues and make sure that we don't commit same errors in the next tournament.
Nice. So very well. Some great perspectives and insights. So, okay, just to mention, not to forget the very recent India's victory in Malaysia. Saksham and Charanjot managed to get India its first ever 2v2 co-op title, which was a huge achievement. So Saksham, I'm sure a lot of people hearing this podcast would like to know how was that and how did it happen, and just give us a quick brief of how was the experience going there, taking flight from Delhi to Malaysia, going there from Pune to Malaysia, going there, and somehow making that chemistry work with Charan, beating one of the top
uh,
players in the country. I'm sure the top 10 Asian players who qualify for the E World Cup were all managed to beat
True,
them all.
true.
So,
So, our tournament was on Saturday, and we weren't sure if we'll be able to participate in it because Charan is a minor. He's just 16-year-old, and he had some documents issue, and he missed his flight on Friday. But he somehow managed to reach Malaysia on Saturday, and he directly came to the venue, played the group stage and the round 64 without having anything throughout the day. So big, great willpower shown by Charan, and that's why because of his this thing actually motivated me to improve my game as well because we had just 4 days of practice together prior to the tournament because the previous weekend to the international tournament we both qualified, so we just had of practice together, and there were 128 teams participating in that tournament, and Malaysia is actually known for its 2v2 tournaments. So there are a lot of tournaments in 2v2 happening in Malaysia. So there were actually pros in 2v2 there that we played and somehow managed to win. So it was a great experience. Like international, this was my first ever international experience, and luckily we managed to win India its first ever 2v2 trophy in our first. So it was great, and the people there, not the competition. Competition was really good, but the people in general were really good too and really caring. So it was a great tournament.
amazing. So, speaking of international tournaments, I'm sure Sid has participated in two, if I'm
Yep.
correct. One was
Oh,
in Singapore, one was in
yeah.
Malaysia. And yeah, so talking about the international recognition, Saksham has made his mark. Sid also managed to make his mark sometime back when he got signed by M10, which is run by Ozil. And for a fact, now I know that he's in personal touch with Ozil. And Ozil is actually following him on Twitter. He has a verified Instagram profile, Sid Chandrana. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of Ozil following me. So how has that worked out for you, and how is that?
I've
Yeah,
been an Arsenal fan since childhood, so nothing gets better for me. Ozil was actually my favorite player when I got signed. He still is. I've always been an Arsenal fan, so I just feel I started from the top and it's all downhill from here.
Nice.
Kartika, I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, like, you've also won an international tournament. You were first Indian. So when Charan and I won, we got a lot of social media attention, like
Yeah.
more than probably you got. Sadly, in these 2 years, the things have changed. There are a lot of esport organization working just related to esports, be it about signing players. So I would like to ask about how your experience was after winning and how you've seen things change in front of you in these after you've won an international tournament.
Okay, so I had a similar experience like Charan. I was about to miss my flight. So how it happened was I was given a flight from Delhi to Calcutta and Calcutta to Bangkok. So the flight to Calcutta got delayed, and I speculated it because it's Jet Airways and it's always been like that. And I was able to yeah, calculate that even if I reach like an hour later, it's fine. But the flight got delayed for another 2 hours, and my flight was supposed to take when I would land in Calcutta, I would just have 10 minutes
Oh,
before the flight takes off. So I know I was like shit. I was very nervous.
It's
I really
crazy.
thought I'm gonna miss my flight. I reached there and I start to run. Okay. Yeah, I run without the analog sprint being on. I run with the R2. I like acceleration full, and I'm running. I'm running, and they're about to put that queue manager up to close the gates, and I somehow just sneak in. And yeah, from there, when I'm about to miss my flight, they fortunately they let me board the flight. From there to almost missing the flight and then going there and beating 10 countries to become the first ever Indian to win an international competition. I don't
must be a
know
great
if
feeling.
I think this is something to remember for me. This is something which is gonna stay very close to my heart for the rest of my life. And there were times when I was down in the tournament. There's this time when I'm losing 3-0 in the semis, and I somehow came back 4-3 in a matter of 20 minutes. And the support and trust me, we only had three Indians there, and the Malaysians there were like in 20s or 30s, and they were screaming, they were shouting at me every time their guy scored. No one was there. They're pausing the game, and they're getting up and then shouting at me, and I'm just there. And I don't know, but somehow I managed to do that. Somehow I managed to turn the tables against.
It was your first experience, right, of an
And
international
yeah,
stage.
absolutely. The first ever I am traveling for a FIFA tournament, and this is happening. And after that, I was able to win and got a lot of messages. Sadly enough, this is one issue which I'd like to bring up. I got more attention. I got more coverage in the Asian region from Malaysian newspapers and Thailand newspapers than my own. Can you imagine?
Oof, oof.
I came
That's
back.
that's the sad
No
part.
one, no one. I did get a few messages from the community because people do, they're genuine followers of
Yeah, they do
FIFA,
follow when you're
Yep.
and
representing your country. Yep.
I did get a lot of love for this, but there were people also who were not very happy with the fact that I won it because I was just an underdog. They didn't expect me
Unbelievable.
to,
Plus, you were
and
relatively new to the community, right? Because there were big guns back then who've been
It
participating for
didn't sink
long.
in for them.
Yep.
yeah, and I okay, so I was actually reaching out to newspapers to cover this. And out
Ah,
of 30 newspapers I've reached, around 28 said complete no. They're not going to cover something like esports, something as naive or nascent as esports. So, wow. So, the article, my win actually got covered a month later, courtesy Shantanu Basu in his newspaper T2.
yep,
And
yep.
yeah, so that's how things kick started. And if you see, I didn't get much recognition for that win in 2017. Then I'm getting it now. So things have
Yep.
definitely changed.
Yep.
I'm grateful and I'm so happy for you guys that you're getting the fame you deserve. You're getting the recognition you deserve. And yeah, so I mean, it's been an exceptional
That's
experience.
that's
Yeah,
that's really
Oh,
good.
Saksham,
Yep.
we all know you play for footballers, but we want to know the story behind the way you played the other players from Europe and the way you signed for them.
yeah.
So a lot of guys actually would want to know about this. So firstly, I'd like to thank both of you because it was you two guys who actually made me realize that we can actually sign for an international team because we guys actually started off at the same time, and back then community used to always say that we won't have a chance to sign for an international organization.
Yep.
Karthike made it first, and then you signed. That gave me the confidence to actually try and uh, contact a team as big as footballers. So I contacted them in around November, and initially they were interested, but since we were ineligible, they didn't know about our quality because we have never showed our quality in an international stage. So yeah, so from November onwards, they were monitoring my progress in Indian competitions. I was doing fairly well for myself, and they were really happy with my progress in Indian tournaments. But they wanted to see how would I fare against European players as big as Isupar, who's been to two World Cup, and guys like Henso, who finished number one in whole of May. So they organized three footballers leagues, having 12 players who've either been to LQEs or they are top 100 players. So I played in three of those, and I finished runner up in two of those tournaments in which there were top 100 and LQE players. So footballers got really impressed, and they were convinced that I was ready to participate in an European and global level, and I could compete against best. So that's how it happened.
That's
And
That's amazing,
again,
bro.
thanks for
so that's
making us
great. So
believe
now,
that
okay,
we can actually
because
go on and sign for an international organization as big as Football is Center and NFG.
so that's a great lineup because the three of us were signed by international teams. My team is based out of Leicester in the UK. Sid's team, I think, even though Ozil
Is
plays,
now based in Germany.
yeah, even though Ozil plays for Arsenal, but the team is primarily the headquarters is in
In
Germany,
Germany, yep.
and Saksham is in Turkey. So a lot of diversity here, a lot of teams and Indian players getting recognized in different regions. So
Yeah.
that's first of all, that's okay. So I want to get to the next topic, which is it possible? Definitely it is. And you are seeing like three big prime examples that we've done it. And trust me when I say this, people know of you guys. People know of India. People, big players are starting to realize that, Indians have this potential. Sid
Yep.
is recognized in the European realm. He's been followed by biggest players in Europe. Saksham
He,
has
if
just
I'm
won an
not
international.
wrong, yes, Karthik, continue. I'll add
Yeah,
on.
so Saksham has just won an international tournament. I do have some fan following in Asia and some fan following in Europe as well. So
Not some, a lot like us who followed your path.
it's amazing and it's possible. But what I'm gonna get next to is this
Yep.
doesn't happen overnight. So Sid,
Yep.
I'd like you to share your experience
True,
because
true.
you're the youngest here and you made it happen for someone who was just 18. Were you just 18 when you signed? I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, I was 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was just 18 and getting signed by Ozil. So I'm sure we all want to know how did that happen.
Yep.
Yeah, so my first tournament was actually online, which was FIFA 16. And I went out in the first round. I cried a lot. I would lie because I loved competing and I wanted to be at the top always. So I cried a lot that night. I just wanted to get back playing. Next morning I was back grinding the game, and it's a gradual process. Without practice, it's not possible. Uh, my first offline event, I'm sure Saksham remembers.
Yeah.
We met in the final, and it was a close game.
Yeah, went to the
Saksham,
penalties if I'm
Saksham
not
was the
wrong.
winner, but to be, you know, I finished runner-up in my first offline event, so that gave me a confidence boost. And massive GG's to Saksham, he
Yep.
was amazing. But after that, I actually lost 6 finals in a row, and I thought of quitting because I could never get past the final stage, and it haunted me a lot at night. But perseverance is the key. You have to grind the game. You have to practice all day, and you have to get better until and unless you're confident enough to before the tournament you're confident enough you won't get past the line final stage. I actually used to shiver before the final games, and I had a mental block, but it I think it's not there now, and it was a mental block. And when it comes to esports, you have to be fit mentally, and if you've already lost to your opponent before the game, I don't think it's possible to play him.
True, true, true.
So
That's true.
And
great insight. So how did we make it happen? What's that one advice, just one advice, you're gonna give to young players who are starting out? And yeah, let's wrap this up in 30 seconds from each of you. So Saksham, you start off.
I'd say like stop focusing on fame. It will definitely come with results. Focus more on your game, improve that, and fame will follow. So that's what I will say. Focus on your game first, improve that. You'll win more tournaments. You'll get the fame accordingly.
What do you have to say, Sid?
yeah, I just want to say grind the game, have the right mentality. It takes time, but you'll be there soon. Just have the right mentality, that's the most important when it comes to FIFA. Don't lose hope, you'll be there at the top very soon.
Yeah, so for me, I would say primarily like, why did we start playing FIFA? It was for fun.
Fun. Yeah.
When you get there, when you start playing FIFA professionally, don't get too much into it. Even though it's nothing bad in grinding game out. But most people, I think, who are not able to do good are the ones who've taken the game too seriously and they're not having fun, because that's why we started FIFA in the first place. So have fun, be in the game, and most
Yep.
importantly, enjoy it. You're gonna get
Yep.
there.
That's
Don't
true.
get salty if you lose. Work on your mistakes. Come back stronger. And I'm sure with this, on this note, I think we've chatted a lot about the FIFA scene and whatnot. So, great line-in. Thanks for joining me.
Good talk, man.
Good talk, bro. Thanks for
And
having us.
most
Yep.
importantly, thanks to Higin FIFA. And just to shout out to them, because they're going to be organizing a lot more FIFA tournaments on their platform. And it's going to be catered to a lot of you casual players as well and pro players. And it's going to give you a platform to get there and make your name like we've done.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, you can leave them at Higin FIFA. You can follow Sid on his Instagram, Saksham on his Instagram, and mine on mine Instagram. So thank you for joining in. Lovely
Yep.
lineup we had today, and
Good
good luck.
talk. Cheers, lads.